Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are going to do another declutter. I did a declutter series, was it last year? Towards the end of the year, whenever it was. We're going to do another one. I need to go through my face palette drawer. At least rearrange it. Might be able to get rid of a couple of things. We'll see. I am actually using them more since I moved a small amount of makeup upstairs for like my everyday makeup, because it's nice. I don't bring individual blush, bronzer, and highlight just because it cuts down on the amount of stuff in my bag. So I've been using face palettes. So like this one was up there and I took it out just because I have two others that I wanted to try. But like this has a finishing powder, you have a blush, two highlights, two bronzers. So the finishing powders and the ones that I've been using have been really nice. So I have been using them, so I don't need to necessarily get rid of them for the sake of getting rid of them. But like this one, I could see going upstairs in the rotation because it has, you know, the eyeshadows. And there's, again, highlight, bronzer, some blushes, the eyeshadows, the whole thing. So I need to go through this and at least reorganize it, because right now the drawer is too full and it won't close. But if there's some things in here, there's some stuff in here that I like and I want to have, but I'm not necessarily using it, if that makes sense. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to switch tripods. I will show you from up above. Hopefully that's a little bit better than me just holding the stuff up. And yeah, let's get into it. Make sure you are subscribed if you are not already, because I'm going to start going through, because I can see my highlight drawer, because the space, this is the drawer above it. That one needs to come and I need to go through it again. I have a large collection. I have to do more than one declutter a year realistically to stay on top of, because there's more coming in than there is going out. I used to have the one in, one out rule. Never stuck to it. Never worked out. So I'm going to try and do a couple of declutters a year just to stay on top of it. But yeah, let's jump in. I do have another tablecloth that I'm going to change out. This one's just been getting a little bit scratched, but I think what you can see in the frame like this isn't too bad. So we'll leave it for now, but let's go through one that's for sure going to stay, because I have been using it as you saw in the intro. So this one has, I like the ones that have the finishing powder. I didn't understand the place for them before I started using them as part of my everyday, but there is a place for these. So this is one that I've almost decluttered like 3 times, but actually this has grown on me. And again, the finishing powder being in there has been helpful, because then I don't have to have a separate pressed powder also. So this one's going to stay. We're going to start a keep pile, and then maybe we'll put the get rid of stuff over here. Okay, this is one that's going to stay. Part of this is the aesthetic. I love Trick or Treat. So we've got the sand packaging. This is Creature Cosmetics. Anything that's still available, I will link. Like this was limited edition, but I bought it on Amazon after it was not available in the store. So if it's still available, I will link it. This, as I'm filming this, is available. So I will link Creature Cosmetics down below. I have a couple, 3 face palettes. These 2 are also, but this is just blush and like contour and bronzer. It would help if I could have you in frame here. Let's see, can we come up just a smidgen? There we go. Okay, but these are really nice. I'm able to use everything that's in here. Works on my skin tone. I'm not a huge fan of their eyeshadows, but I like their face products. So for me, like, and their lipsticks, because they dry down completely and they don't transfer. So I do recommend their face palettes, and they do have sales, so sign up for their email notifications. This one, I need to get rid of the box. This is the Tar Man. I think this was part of the, is this the night of Return of the Return of the Living Dead? So this box, this doesn't need to be in the box. I'm going to move that, but there he is. There's the Tar Man. And then this is a bronzer, 2 blushes, and a highlight. Now the highlight that's in here looks dark, and it looked much lighter on the picture. It's very soft, but when I swatch it, it's lighter than it looks in the pan. So for me, I can make that work. But that's one thing with these super small indie brands. Creature Cosmetics doesn't take enough swatch photos in my opinion. And Dark and Glam, I have the same issue. But again, this is really loose on here. Has that always been like that? I might need to keep him in the box. I just don't want that to, cause see how that's, I might need to keep him. We'll see. Maybe that's why he was still in the box. That's entirely possible. He might need to stay because it's already wanting to slide. I don't remember it being, because this one is a stronger, I think, but this got a little bit warped. Will it stay? Okay, we'll try and put him on the top. Okay, moving on. This is Randy's Rules. This was part of their, what is this, 90s? When did Scream come out? In the 90s? This is Randy's Rules to Surviving a Horror Movie. So again, you've got 2 bronzers, 2 blush, and 2 highlights. The highlights in this are obviously lighter in appearance, but they are lighter on my skin tone. This came a little bit cracked. I did let them know just for shipping purposes, but again, the blushes in this are pretty light, so if you're a deeper skin tone, you can build them up, but they are a little bit on the lighter side, so just be aware. But I like, again, their formula, and they have nice packaging. Let's get a wet wipe before we get too far. And I'm going to try and not swatch a whole bunch because we'll be here for 1,000 years. Okay, this is one that, again, I've almost decluttered, and like I said in the intro, because it's got all the parts and the eyeshadows before did not make sense to me, but as simplistic as I'm doing my makeup, which I do show my everyday makeup routine, that should be up before this. So this does have a place, so I'm going to keep this. Okay, we've got the Laura Geller, which this one's annoying because of how domed it is. I definitely prefer the packaging in the Ulta Beauty one, but this is the Laura Geller. There's a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. I want to say this is French Vanilla for the highlighter. It doesn't say the shades on here. It did when I ordered this. I got this through QVC because I wanted to try Laura Geller's compared to Ulta Beauty, which the Ulta Beauty one, again, I like the packaging better because it's flat, but again, you've got a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. This one is in Santorini Sun, so it's definitely a cooler bronzer, whereas this is a little bit on the warmer side. Again, warmer blush, so this whole one is a little bit cooler. So they are different from each other, but the formula is almost identical. So if you want the save some money and get the warmer version of this, because there's like 3 or 4 options, I would just go, just because this is annoying to store. Super annoying. Okay, let's see. This one I have moved. This could probably go back in my highlighter drawer, and I think I put it back in here when I was doing my highlight declutter, because I use this as a bronzer. This is the Kathleen Lights and Makeup Geek collab. So this is old. So we've got Sunlight, Starlight, and Nightlight. Sunlight is very bronzy. So for me, this is a shimmery bronzer because it is super dark. And then this one I can use as a highlight. It's very pink, but I don't tend to wear super pink highlights that often. But for me, that's a good blush topper. I think that's why I put it in here. And then this one is just a pretty golden champagne. So this is super old. I'm gonna keep it just because it's old. I would not feel comfortable passing that on. And it is nice. This is one of my favorite ones. This is from Tarte. Mine is very old and it's been used a lot. I travel with this. Like, this has a huge dip in the pan. What is this? This is the Hamptons Weekender. So you've got Beach Getaway, Summer House, and Farmer's Market for the bronzer, but that I do use. This is one, the blush in here is incredibly light, and the highlight in here is incredibly light. I've swatched this. I don't know if I've ever used this on my face. This is one I hold on to because this is one of ABH. This is the Italian Summer. I wanted these when they first came out, and they were expensive. I got this in a BoxyCharm. So I'm keeping it, holding on to it because it's ABH, not because I feel compelled to use it. So we're gonna start a maybe pile right here. This is another one, like with the Makeup Geek, where it's technically 3 highlighters. This Drogon shade is super pink. This was Urban Decay's Game of Thrones highlighter. So this is definitely a blush topper for me. Like super pink. There it is. Viseron is like the traditional champagne-y kind of a shade. Where are we at? Right there. And then Regal is the bronzer shade. This is actually starting to feel a little bit dry. So I may, like it shows up. I can get some color payoff on there. But again, I don't use this. I keep it because I like Game of Thrones. I have the eyeshadow palette. So this could maybe go on display somewhere else. So I'm going to keep this, but it's not going to go back in this drawer. I'm going to set it off to the side over here. Yeah, it's one of those, I have used that in that way, like blush, topper, bronzer, highlight, but it's been a long time since I've reached for that. We've got the Mary Luminizer, the Manizer Sisters, whatever it's called, from the Balm. And again, it's the same thing. You've got Mary Lou highlight, Cindy Lou, which I use as a blush topper, and then Betty Lou, which I use as a shimmery bronzer. So that one's gonna stay because I do actually reach for that in that capacity. And it's nice to have with this because the bronzer that is in here is matte. So it's nice to have the two to pair together. Let's see, you can come up without, there we go. That way you can kind of see. So these are all gonna stay. Ofra, let's see, this is I forgot that I own this. This is 2 bronzers, 2 blush, and 2 highlights. So this one will stay. I have an Ofra palette currently in my makeup. So this one will go in rotation. Again, forgot I owned that. The OPV Beauty is very similar to the ABH, but I like the tones of this better. The blush is a little deeper. The highlight is not quite as light. So I'm more inclined to actually keep that because I have used it. Here's a side-by-side comparison, and it's very similar tones. This one's just a little bit deeper, and I'm more inclined to use this. So this, we're gonna put this one in the declutter for now. I can't say that I'm not gonna pull it out later because I have done that, but we're gonna declutter it for now. My mother-in-law bought me this for my birthday. The girl at Sephora talked her into buying it, and I actually really like it. You've got more of a satin blush, a more glowy blush, a bronzer, and a highlight. This is all baked. This is Enchant from the Sephora collection. I actually really like this. It travels well. We'll keep that. And then I have another one. This was part of some holiday collection. I don't think I've ever actually used this. This is the Spice Market Blush Palette. But again, you have like 3 blushes, all glowy, and then there's a bronzer, and then 2 highlighters, which this highlighter, again, is gonna be like more of a bronzy, what am I trying to say? A bronzy bronzer topper. So it would pair with that, and then there's a highlighter in there. Haven't actually used that yet. We'll hold on to that for now. This is the Becca, Chloe, and Malika collab. And again, I can wear all of these shades. They work on my skin tone. This is nice. I think I got this on Nordstrom Rack. And then I have another Becca palette. This was one of their holiday palettes. Again, there's a highlighter, some blush toppers, shimmery bronzer, highlights, the whole thing. I will keep that. I used to use this a lot. So far, we haven't gotten rid of anything other than the ABH palette. This is one that I've had a hard time letting go of. This is from Pure. These are so pretty. This is old. I got this in a BoxyCharm a million years ago, but it's really nice. And I actually should probably put this upstairs and change it out for my Too Faced one, because I have another Pure palette in my bag, which I may do that. So this one, I think I'll take upstairs and put in my bag for now. I do have the Peach Glow from Too Faced. I have gotten some good use out of this. Again, similar tones to the ABH palette, but they show up a little bit better on my skin tone. So I'll keep that. Marc Jacobs. I got this from Ipsy just because I've never really tried his face products. So he's no longer a brand. I think I used it once. And then I've got my 2 Benefit palettes. So these are gonna stay, because again, these have all of the parts that I would need. So blush, highlight, bronzer. This one's probably the one I use the least out of the 2, just because Cookie is in this one. And I like Sugar Bomb. But again, you got 2 blushes, 2 bronzer. This is technically a blush, but, and then a highlighter. Those are ones that I wanted for a really long time and finally got them. So let's see how we can work this so that this fits better. That can go like that. Again, I forgot that I owned that. Let's do like that. That one's decently large. Here, let's put this, and some of it is just a matter of like reworking it so that it fits better in the drawer. I don't always take the time because this is like Tetris to get everything to fit in here. I don't know if that's going to stay there. Oh, and that may come out. What do we have left? Not a lot, thankfully. Let's see. I have a couple. These small ones are super annoying to store. I've always had this issue with these small ones. Thankfully, I got a couple and I can put them right here in the front. Right there. These did fit in the drawer, so will these fit? I think we're flat right there if I put them like that. Again, this one makes me a little bit nervous because it doesn't want to stay closed, so we're going to put him on top. That one will fit right there. And then again, if I'm not ready to let the Makeup Geek one go, I never use it anymore, but this is one I may put in the declutter just because I haven't reached for this in forever and it's old and it's taking up room. So I'll take this out. So we got rid of 2 because again, this will actually fit in here. That one can stay in here for right now only because there's room. And then this pure one, I'll put back in there for right now, but that one may go in rotation upstairs. But I'm trying to rotate all of these more into my bag upstairs so that I actually get use. Oh wait, well, this should close like that. So I didn't get rid of a whole lot. I got rid of 2, but it was enough that I think that'll help me. I still might pull this out and just put it on display because this I think will fit in here better. This doesn't necessarily, I don't know if that did anything or not. I was trying to see. It probably moved it up a little. Yeah. So this one I might actually put out on my dresser. So that one will stay out. So I got rid of 3 out of the drawer. So that definitely helps. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, make sure you're subscribed and I'll see you in my next video.